Hello, welcome to Real Gardens. It seems to me that just over the last couple of weeks, the garden has turned a corner. Everything is growing really fast, and with all the rain we've had, it's lush, it's warm, and we've got these fantastic colours in the borders. Best of all, we've got these extraordinary long evenings to work in. It's the gardener's peak of the year. This week, Anne-Marie meets Pat the Cab, a London gardener with a weakness for giant ferns. I'm making a new raised bed in Guernsey for Liz Collinette. And Carol is helping Adrian and Debbie bring that wow factor to their patio. Despite having back trouble for 12 years, Liz Collinette has still managed to produce a stunning garden overlooking Vale Pond in Guernsey. This year, she's been improving her back garden with a new Mediterranean sun terrace that she's created from the shell of an old outbuilding. So this is pretty much done, isn't it, Liz?
It is almost.
Surrounded by plants.
Isn't it wonderful? Tropical, Mediterranean.
Where did you get the granite basins from?
A young friend of ours made them, and he's a very skilled granite man.
Made especially for the job?
Made especially for the job.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's really nice, isn't it? Nice and deep for the wine to cool.
So that's it, you were going to put your wine in there, weren't you?
Right there.
And is this camp system tending to grow up over the top?
It is, yeah. And I reckon that one will go up over the bit of the roof there, I hope, anyway. Nice red trumpets. It should be pretty effective, I think.
So that will give you shade?
A bit of shade, yeah.
You're saying this gets too hot, really?
Far too hot, yes.
And you've got your citrus outside.
Impressive, isn't it? I thought I'd better do it quick before you came.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be healthier for it.
Yes. But that one's got a nice sort of bloom. That lime looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the lemons, I think it feels it's in with a chance.
Don't worry about that. That'll come back, I bet you. And that pelargonium round there is about as red could be.
That pelargonium's a geranium.
Pelargonium as opposed to a true geranium.
Is it really?
Yeah, pelargoniums are the geraniums with the fat leaves. Geraniums are the ones you plant out in the borders.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I like it. It's jolly.
Yeah, it is. Good with a brick. And the million bells, you see the little red thing down there? That's pretty. That's only an annual, but it's just nice to have something drooping a bit, isn't it?
So this is a completely happy and it's a success story.
I mean, really, it's like an open-air conservatory, isn't it?
Yeah.
But more interesting for me, anyway.
Today, Liz wants to finish improving the view from the terrace. We made a start 3 weeks ago when Liz's son Phil and I cut down the lower branches of her Monterey pine. Her husband Rodney helped us remove the brambly mound of rocks and earth, a clearing job that they've continued since I've been away. Oh, there's been a lot going on.
Phil and Rodney have been really busy over the weekend clearing all the lump of rubbish.
So you've dug all this out, and where are you making the wall?
Well, basically get a curve around here.
Oh, this is on the ground,
Up here, yep. That's the plan.
So you're going to have this swirly bed.
I am.
What are you going to put in it?
It's going to be Chelsea-inspired yellows and blues, it's going to be.
Oh, really fancy.
Yeah, really fancy.
Nice having a son that will come to your beck and call.
Especially one with muscles, isn't it?
Don't know if I can match you for muscles, and I know I can't match you for skill. I'm not very good at this, are you?
Oh, I don't know, nor am I. I'm a complete amateur.
So what's your technique? To make a row of big stones along the bottom?
Yeah, big ones on the bottom. Get a rough, well, a pretty good line.
You lay them, I'll bring them to you.
Okay.
This is real Guernsey granite, high-quality rock that was once exported to London to make the steps of St Paul's Cathedral. In Liz's garden, there's been so much rebuilding over the years that we've only had to root around to find stones in all shapes and sizes. With a bit of trial and error, it's a fairly straightforward job to build the wall like pieces in a jigsaw puzzle. The wall will tilt slightly inwards, so that as the soil settles, none of the stones are pushed out of place. Once the soil is compacted down at the sides, we can create a handsome and sturdy raised bed.
You're doing well. Lovely. Could you do with some of this to put on it?
Yeah, I think we should dig in lots, because if we do it now, well, it's empty and we've got the weeds out and no plants, dig it all in, then we can plant really fast.
Yeah, fine.
8 barrow loads of Liz's mixture of well-rotted seaweed and horse manure will improve the soil and get our new plants off to a healthy start.
Look out, Charlie.
Whoa, look at those plants. Fantastic. These are your blue and yellow plants?
Yes. Yes, don't they look good?
They're great. They look very healthy. Look at that Aeromuris.
Yes, wonderful. That is very a la Chelsea. That is, isn't it?
The whole place is going very upmarket since
Oh,
you've been to
terribly.
Chelsea.
Oh, so posh.
Do you want to place these out?
Yeah, let's place them and have a look.
Okay, do you have a plan?
No, but we'll know as we go.
I'm going to go and do some work on my garden then.
All right.
Okay?
Okay, see
See you
you.
guys.
Cheers.
Bye.
The 50-odd plants in this bed consist entirely of herbaceous perennials. They'll range in height from 4 foot at the back down to a couple of inches at the front and are designed to provide a colourful outlook from Liz's new terrace. OK, you happy? Do you want to start planting?
No, I don't. I want to think about it a bit. Not only that, I'm tired.
Well, listen, there's no deadline. We'll be back tomorrow morning.
OK.
And if you're ready, we'll plant it then.
Yeah, perfect.
OK. But when I arrive back next morning, I'm in for a bit of a surprise. You've planted it all.
No.
God, what time did you get up?
Well, about 6 o'clock. I got started and couldn't stop.
Hey, so you've moved things around. I mean, those weren't there, were they? The lavender.
No, I've moved those to another part of the garden.
And that Aeromuris
Good
you brought
blue.
forward. Yeah, it'll be lovely. It'll love your soil too.
Yeah.
And then yellow coming through.
Aconitum. Yellow.
A yellow aconitum.
Yes.
Ah. So the colours are going to just drift through it.
Yellows and blues just drifting into things.
I'll wait to see it. Give it a month or
Exciting,
two.
isn't
It'd be
it?
good. It'd be
It's
fun.
really fun. Yeah, wonderful.
But I have to say, the fun I was looking forward to was actually putting them in the ground. I love doing that.
Oh, sorry, Monty.
That's all right.
Oh, I've got another treat.
No,
What about thinning some apples? That's a really nice job.
quite rank with planting, but yeah, okay.
Not a bad second.
Yeah, do you want that off?
Yes, please.
Right.
Yeah.
How many different varieties of apple do you grow?
About 4 in here, I should think. Not very successfully. Not ideal land for it.
Too dry.
Too dry.
Yeah.
Yes.
But even when it's thin like this here, I mean, look at that. There are
Yeah.
groups of bunches of apples, and what I do is after the June drop, where they tend to form naturally, just go around and thin them out.
Yeah.
So we get a nice spacing, the air gets round them, the goodness goes and grows into good apples.
And we get nice big ones.
Okay, well, I don't mind doing that. I think it's quite a nice job, really.
Well, I knew you'd enjoy it.
Well, the thing is
It's
that
a treat.
it's a meditative job, isn't it?
It is. It's a gentle job when you're really tired out.
Now, you know, I'm not going to come back for a fortnight.
A fortnight?
Yeah, it is. I'm going to go somewhere else.
Oh, crumbs, Monty. Just when I need some help.
Well, it means there'll be lots of changes to see.
You're right there. There will be. Plenty.
And there's plenty for you to get on in between, isn't
Oh,
there?
yes. I'll have a chance to really have a good go, won't I?
All right, well...
I shall miss you.
Well, that's very sweet of you, and I shall miss you too, Liz.
Oh, how nice.
We're in North London this week, visiting a new real gardener, Pat Wallace and his wife Sandy. He's known as Pat the Cab after 7 years as a London cabbie, and he has a passion for plants. When he's not picking up fares, his cab's often stuffed full of palms.
Waiting for your taxi. Which taxi will come? Waiting for your taxi.
And I was actually at a set of lights one day and a guy got in the back and actually got the door open but couldn't get in because there was so many plants in there. And I did explain that I wasn't working, but he said he was desperate for a cab, so in the end I gave him a free ride to where he was going and he sat amongst the plants.
Pat is a connoisseur of tender exotic plants. His small courtyard garden in Islington is a jungle of palms and tree fern.
The good thing about this garden, it's evergreen. If you have English plants, if you come out in October or you come out in January, there's nothing, it's just dead ground. But you come out here, you're on holiday. I'm in Portugal, I'm in Greece, and I can look around and find all them sort of plants. That's the reason for the garden.
But Pat's wife Sandy sees the practical side of creating this urban paradise.
He spends a fortune on these palms. Mind you, he's always down the market and getting them at good prices, but he does spend a lot of money.
Pat's plants are thriving, but they can't be seen to their best advantage. He really needs some design advice, which is where Anne-Marie Powell comes in.
Wow! This is a jungle, not a garden, isn't it?
Well, I've got you here to sort the design out, haven't I? Everyone that comes in says it's a collection, not a garden.
Yeah.
So hopefully we're going to get that sorted.
Yeah, because it is almost like being in a nursery, isn't it? Just this row of palms along there.
There's about 8 or 9 varieties in
Can
there.
you talk me through them?
I can, yeah.
Amazing.
This one's a Guadalupe palm,
Right.
and I just like the colour. It's just that
Beautiful.
little bit brighter than most of them are quite dark, but this is quite bright.
Where are you getting all your plants from?
Some come in suitcases when we go on holiday.
Do you?
This one I grew from seed.
Did you
The first
really?
one I
That
grew.
phoenix?
Yeah. I brought that back from Portugal about 15 years ago.
You've got a lot of plants in pots as well, haven't you? Why haven't you put them in the ground?
To get height, really. To pack it out, to get a bit more height, yeah.
It's funny, though, because they're just kind of, like, jammed together, aren't they? And I don't think... Because they're along here, you can't really appreciate each one for its own merits. Do you know what I mean?
If I laid them out properly, I wouldn't have half the palms I got.
Right, OK.
I've run out of space. I can only go up now.
Yeah. Oh, and Pat, I love this baby. Brahia armata, isn't it? It's just fantastic.
That's why I bought it, and at night, when the moonlight's out, it's silver.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Pat has another great love, his collection of tree ferns.
Well, this is Dickinsonian Antarctica. I've had this about 15 years.
That shuttlecock's just got a
beautiful.
massive leaf span, hasn't it?
These huge ferns are survivors of the dinosaur era from the rainforests of Australia. As old fronds die off, their remains gradually build up into these huge trunks. Pat also has some rarer tree ferns.
These are Scyphia migillaris, and the problem with these is, if you walk from the top, which has happened to these, they just rot to nothing.
So that's unusual, because I was taught that you actually water them from the top down there, the crown. That's wrong.
Well, I've got a friend that was a park ranger in New Zealand, and he tells me you should never water any of these from the top, because it can rot them.
Today, Pat wants some help with the planting job on a larger scale. A monster acquisition waiting to go into the fern-filled section of the garden. But first, if this Dickinsonia Antarctica is to be given a new home in the tropics of Islington, it needs a hole.
So why have you put this hole here?
Well, I thought I'd put this here to give a canopy to these to improve their health and growth.
Really?
Yes.
Do you know why I think you put it here?
Go on.
Because it was the only space, really, for it to go.
No, I could have made space. I could have taken another paving stone out. I think we're deep enough.
I'm just going to put some holes in the bottom.
Right, I'll let you do that.
Just so the water can drain away a bit better.
Pat makes his own compost, which produces an evil-smelling fluid, which he uses as a fertiliser.
Why are you wearing these gloves?
Well, there's lots of germs in the garden, isn't there?
Yeah.
I mean, when we put this lovely fluid in, which you can smell now...
I'm not smelling it. I know what it's going to smell like. Death.
Oh, it's dreadful. I'm not quite sure if that's healthy. So I'd rather keep off my hands, my clothes and my food. That's dreadful. Now, if we're not quick, all the flies will be in the hole.
That sounds nice.
Right, now we're going to put a couple of spikes in.
These wooden stakes are Pat's technique for giving the fern stability until the new roots form.
Watch out for your fern at the back.
The 11-foot trunk weighs a ton, so we've drafted in Pat's son Liam to help. This tree fern was allowed to dry out during its long journey, but now it's coming back to life, as we can see from the unfurling fronds, or croziers.
I cannot see anything.
Now listen,
Right.
when we put it down,
Okay.
I want to turn it round.
Better get out of the way.
I don't want to eat it. Right. Right, we're in.
Oh!
Whoa.
Right.
Now then.
Oh, it's pretty good, actually. That is straight that way, but I'm
Do you
not
think it looks better straight or an angle?
Or at an angle, because they're more at an angle in the wild, aren't they? Put it forwards then. So, no, it looks horrible. Just looks awful. Right. Just straight like that is great.
Once the last two stakes are in, we pack the hole firmly with compost until the trunk is stable.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Oh, it smells lovely.
Yeah,
That feels good. Don't let go. I think that looks good. You must admit, and when you get 4 feet either way...
It's absolutely stunning, actually, isn't it?
I think it really is.
How old do you think it is?
I was told it was over 100 years, being that height.
Wow.
Tree ferns absorb water over their entire surface. As Pat's New Zealand expert advises, we don't water into the crown to avoid rotting the new croziers, but we do give the trunk a thorough soaking.
What are we going to do next time you come?
Well, I reckon we ought to organise your jungle and move it about and put some things in the ponds and really kick some action into it.
No. I think not. I think you're not to come.
After the break, Carol is helping Adrian and Debbie bring a touch of Chelsea to their Devon garden.
Welcome back. Now, I love roses, just can't have too much of them. And the way to keep them going, best of all, is to deadhead them. But you should do it with a pair of secateurs and consider it a pruning job, because when you cut them back, you're going to stimulate more growth. So take it back to the next leaf or leaf bud. Doesn't matter how far down the line you have to go to do that. And that will stimulate the growth hormone to produce more lateral growth. And that's what produces more flowers. If you leave it, you're going to get a leader growing and they don't produce flowers. So if you want more roses, and I want as many as I can possibly get, deadhead with a pair of secateurs and consider it pruning. Now, Carol Klein has gone down to Devon, where Adrian and Debbie are fired with enthusiasm after their visit to Chelsea.
Adrian and Debbie's steeply sloping garden overlooks Dartmoor, and they've been working non-stop this year to create a garden worthy of such a spectacular location. They've completely replanted their main bed and created an orchard area. Now, with summer in mind, they want to do something about the patio at the side of the house. They sought inspiration at Chelsea Flower Show, where they met Carol Klein, and the three of them went off to look for ideas for the wow factor that their patio definitely lacks.
Had a fantastic time at Chelsea, didn't we?
Absolutely fantastic, yeah.
The flowers are just awesome.
But the thing we took away from Chelsea was keep it simple. So what we're going to try and do is recreate that and just keep our patio nice and simple, uncluttered, as far as we can. Deb's always says to me, less is more. And I says, more is more. We slight arguments about this, but I know what Deb is getting at, less is more. Yeah, I can see that.
Stand up here, hands behind your back.
The visit to Chelsea has given Adrian all kinds of ideas.
What do you think?
Well, I was going to ask what you have to do to enter.
Oh, no.
Well, I've already got designs.
And some of those designs involve transforming the patio into the perfect place to sit and appreciate the view.
Wow. All sorts of things have been happening here, haven't they? I love this trellis.
Yeah, we've made a start.
I think that's fantastic. And what's that weird-looking pipe?
All will be revealed later. All
Bit of a surprise there.
Yeah, still a surprise for you.
I've dug out that bed there because I really want a smelly garden.
Right. Do you mean a scented garden?
I mean a scented garden.
Shall we go and look at it? You've got quite a lot of stuff in here already, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I love the rosemary and we've got fennel and sage, so I love just sort of plucking and chucking herbs on the barbie.
Yeah, you get marvellous fragrance, don't you, instantly from them. What's all this stuff you've put on the soil?
Well, I knew you were coming today, so I've spread manure all over this bed, so it's ready for planting.
It's very nice of you, and although I appreciate it, I don't think things like this rosemary would.
Oh.
I mean, the Mediterranean things are used to baking in hot sun, and that's what produces these oils. Lots of these really fragrant plants release these oils when they're hot and dry and impoverished. That's when you get the best fragrance from them.
Right.
So if you're going to have a perfume garden, perhaps we better do something about impoverishing it.
I haven't dug it in, so we can hopefully just
Scoop
drag
it away.
it back.
And you could go a step further. Do you know any builders up the road or anything who could give you a load of rubble? I think it might be just what they need.
Yeah, I'm sure I could find something to suit.
Right. Adrian and Debbie have been out shopping and found a whole range of fragrant plants. Adrian's also managed to lay his hands on something suitably gritty. Oh, here's the rubble.
All right? This is some of the stuff the builders left over.
Oh, it's fantastic. Looks just right. What is it?
It's 3/4 dust. It's what they used to make cement.
So lots of sand, lots and lots of little stones.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get on with the painting. Okay?
All right.
All right, then.
We'll do all the hard
Don't dare
work.
watch, no. Bye.
I think we ought to scrape all this muck off this front bit first. Adrian's decided to warm up the patio area by painting the wall a rich terracotta colour. Meanwhile, Debbie and I are enriching the back section of the bed by scraping all the manure into it, and we're digging rubble into the front for the Mediterranean plants. Rubble! I think that'll do, yeah? Yeah. We can see quite clearly we've got this one area that's really well drained for all these things that like it dry and poor and crunchy, and then this other area which is luscious and really well fed and well manured for all those things that like a rich diet. But there's just one thing I noticed. There's this myrtle over here lurking behind the fennel, and that's a plant that really would like to come out into the sunshine.
Right.
So can I have your permission to shift it?
Yeah, let's do it quick while Adrian's not looking.
Okay. This handsome Mediterranean plant has aromatic leaves and will produce fragrant, creamy white flowers later on in the year. Now, how about right in that front corner? and just put it there.
Now, what about this dianthus? Yeah.
Dianthus like it alkaline, dry and well drained, so that's exactly what that one's going to get, isn't it?
It smells lovely.
I think that every time you go past, you can just run your fingers through it and smell this gorgeous fragrance.
Oh, lovely.
That looks really pretty there.
It's just at home, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's lovely. Right, shall we do these three Cosmos Afrosanguineus, this chocolate plant? Can't smell it yet, not until its flowers open, but it's going to love this good drainage and this really hot, sunny place. It's a bit tender, this plant. It's from Mexico, and it'll make a big plant during the summer, and then it'll have made tubers, and you can store them over winter, and then start it off again next spring.
Lovely.
So you can constantly have a scent of chocolate.
So every time I need a chocolate fix, I just come out here and get my face into one of these.
Right, what's next?
What about the rose going here?
I think that would be ideal. The rose will be happy in the top half of the bed, where we dragged all of Adrian's manure.
Exactly what it likes. Oh, yeah.
Whereas lemon verbena prefers the poorer soil, where it will hold its fragrance throughout the summer. Yeah, I think it'll thrive in a bit of shade, this, in the corner.
It's like lemon sherbet sweeties.
Yeah, but even better. Oh, it's beautiful.
I've almost finished this wall. What do you think?
Hey, looking good.
Really, really lovely.
Oh,
it is.
good.
It makes a huge difference.
Very classy.
Well, I'll just finish it off, and I'll prepare my little surprise I promised you.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
It does. Come on, let's get on with it. I love surprises. Once they've settled in, these plants will provide year-round perfume on the patio. Adrian's mysterious contribution involves threading pieces of hardwood over the length of copper piping.
OK.
What's that?
This is my inspiration from Chelsea.
It's a wood pile.
Yes, a load of logs.
I think it's very artistic, but I'm sure there's more efficient ways of storing your wood, aren't there?
It has a little surprise, which I'm just about to demonstrate. Prepare to be excited, ladies. Ignition.
Yay!
Oh, look at that!
What do you think?
Phenomenal! Did you invent this all yourself?
Absolutely. This is on the train on the way back.
I think it's brilliant. To complete the picture, Debbie's got two big ceramic pots that she's planting up with white incaviglia and variegated thyme. The terrace that was once chilly and uninviting is now the perfect place to end the day. Just in time to enjoy the evening sun.
Wow.
Isn't that perfect?
I think we can definitely say wow now, can't
Definitely, yeah.
It's beautiful.
I always said less is more.
Well, that's it for this week. Next week, I'm off to meet a new real gardener near Huddersfield who's got a tiny garden, but he's also got an allotment, which is just as well because he's got 4 hungry mouths to feed. And Carol is meeting a new real gardener in Devon who's gone there to live the good life. See you then. Bye-bye.